Hi, I'm Abra Gelman, and I'm here today to show you some system features from the October 2019 Microsoft Dynamics GP release. This little series that I'm doing is called Snip-its by Abra, and so as you see at the bottom, this is Snip-its System Features 2019 from October. The first thing I want to let you know is that this release is 18.2.1013. When I bring up GP, it's just going to say Microsoft Dynamics GP. It's no longer going to have a little extension of what the release number is here. So you'll have to go into the help screen to find out what the release number is. And the October 2019 version that was released is this 18.2.1013. So I'll show you that by going into GP, hitting this little question mark, hitting About, and then you'd see the version number in this screen. Okay, so the first thing I want to share with you is that we're going to go through all of the system enhancements on this side in this little area here. So without further ado, let's get to the first one. You can now copy report options from one report option to the next. So in the example that I'm going to show you, I'm going to have an accounts payable trial balance report, and I'm going to be having that one be a detail report, and I'm going to then show you how I want to make it into a summary, but with all of the same options. So here I'm in purchasing. I'm going to go to trial balance. I'm going to click on this option, Age Trial Balance with Options, and I already had one that was detail. And so this one I had detail, and it was running as of the end of February, and you can see that it was detail. So if I want to do something similar to this, and let's say that I want the same thing, age trial balance detail, but I want it as of the end of the previous period. Okay, so here I'm going to call it that. I'm going to click on copy. I'm going to hit a down arrow, and I'm going to copy from that detail report and click on copy. So now, or click on OK, sorry. And now all the options are the same. But here I want to say, well, I want to run it as of the end of the previous period. And so now when I say that all my other options are the same, so maybe I wanted to exclude certain things, I wanted to send it to a certain place, and I still wanted it in detail, and I wanted to sort the documents by due date. It's just as simple as that. If I wanted to do the same thing and copy the age trial balance summary, and maybe I wanted something a little bit different, so we're just going to say different, so you see that this is a different one. I'm going to copy from age trial balance, click OK, click Save, and when I bring this back up, you would have seen that it copied from a summary, not a detail, and in that one I already had the end of the previous month. Now if I want to change anything about it, maybe I want the beginning of the previous period, or maybe this one I did want detail, or whatever it is. I can make my changes and then I can hit save. So then when I bring up whatever it was that I was doing, it would have all those changes in it. So you can copy from one report ID to the next. The next one is report groups that allow more than 32 different option IDs. Now you may not even realize that you can have report groups. So let me just start at the beginning a little bit. And I'm going to go to financial, and let's say that under reports, I've got some different trial balance reports. And maybe I have some that are Department 0 and Department 100 and Department 20. So I've got all these different options, and maybe the only difference here is what department I'm running it for. That one obviously wasn't correct, but if I showed it here, you'd see that it was Department 0. And so any of the other ones, I might have Department 100, Department 10, 20, etc. So within my financial reports, I have something called groups. And so then I can choose a GL group. And now as you see here, I have a bunch of different IDs or options that I've added to this group. So adding more to this group is very simple. I would just pull up whatever it is that I was running. And here is the trial balance. I have detailed, I have summary, I have whatever ones that I have created in my system. And I can just click on one and hit insert, and it will go to the end. So here I can insert all of these. And I'm adding it into my financial group called GL Group Reports. And if I hit save, I have the option I can change that name if I want or just keep it. And so this is the enhancement, was that you can have more than 32 in this group. So now I have more than 32. And just so you are aware of it, I can actually go out into reports under customized, and I can call up a list of different reports, and I can, oops, sorry about that. Don't have that one in there. Not custom reports, combined reports. Clicked on the wrong thing. Was wondering why I didn't see what I was expecting. And over here, I could say that I'm going to have a group of combined reports. So I showed you where I created my GL report group, and maybe I had some sales report groups. Maybe I also want this trial balance group to be included in this group. And so I can run just by a click of a button, say I want to print all of my reports that are in this GL and sales groups. And it would print all of the reports, and in each one you can have over 32 options. It's a little crazy, but if you want to be able to just create a bunch of reports all at the same time without sitting there and keying them all in or running them one at a time, you create these report groups. The next feature I wanted to show you was that there are some more options in SmartList. And if you want to know which the new options are, it used to only go to where it said end of fiscal year. So if I'm now running a report and I want to look at a date, I have a couple of more options to choose from. So let's just go out to SmartList. And let's say that I'm looking at sales transactions, and I've got particular document dates that I want to look at, or maybe it's a due date. So if I hit search, and in this case I'll go ahead and say document date, but I can say where the document date is equal to, and as I said, this is where the old options ended, and now you have prior month, next month, prior period, next period. So in this case, maybe I want to say the document date is equal to prior month, or maybe it is less than prior month, something like that. But then I could also turn it around, and if I were running it for a due date, I might want to say it's next month. So the things that I have now that aren't due until next month, maybe I want to see those. So there's just these extra or additional options of additional month and period selections. And the last one within the system that I wanted to show you is user access. So if I am a system administrator and I need to go and click on a user ID, and you can click on those pretty simply. If you just click within the list and then you click the first letter of the name, it's going to go down to those users. But before, if I had like 1,400 companies, like one of my customers do, I would have to just scroll down to find that company. And now you have some options for searching for some companies. So let's just go out and show you those features. So under administration and under user access, I come out here, and then as I said, like if I were up in the list and I wanted to go to the M's, I just typed in M and it got me to the bottom here. And then I can go and search by company name or by company ID, and I can click on a name and start to type, and it would find it in the list there. The other options that have been added is whether you want to include inactive users or not. So if I didn't want to, my list might become shorter. And so for those customers that had 1,000 user IDs, that would be very helpful. The other thing that you can do is after you select a user ID, you can also assign all. So if I had somebody that really had access to all those 1,400 companies, then I can choose it there. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that for Microsoft, this release that was released in October of 2019 and now supports all of these different SQL Server, Office, and Windows Server releases of 2019. And if you go out to this link, you'll see that there is a whole page on that. So if you wanted to just click out to that link, you'd see all the system requirements of those along with the other things that it will support, so like 2016, et cetera. And also out within this area, you can see things like what new features are in this release. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us or your Microsoft GP partner that you currently work with. Thanks so much.